Hi, I'm Roshit. I'm going to make some videos which will be uplifting and motivational, which I think will be helpful for some people. So today we're going to discuss about what makes us happy. Dalai Lama once said, the sole purpose of all our lives is to be happy. So before going into the original topic, I would like to share a couple of stories with you. So the first story I want to share is about this lady in the gym. I used to go to the gym, and one day I saw an elderly lady cycling in front of me, a static cycle. She was holding a magazine on one hand, reading that, and cycling very slowly. So I was thinking in my mind, to get to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, she should have got up at 5 o'clock. And doing this sort of an exercise, might as well sleep properly. So I finished my rounds and I was just walking past this lady, and I just came into the front of her and I realized, in shock actually, she was a double amputee. And she was having an artificial leg. I felt so bad for myself, I shouldn't have thought bad about her. So I decided to go and talk to her. So when I talked to her, I realized she is a 65-year-old lady. She lost her husband and both her legs in an accident a couple of years ago. She used to be a marathon runner, and she is a fitness freak. On that particular day, she was a bit sad because due to some financial problems, she can't help herself for the membership of the gym from the very next month. I didn't tell anything to her and decided to talk to the gym manager. And I told her I will be able to volunteer this lady's membership from the next month onwards. And I told her not to tell this particular lady. So I could see this gym manager was talking to this old lady from a distance actually, and I could gather she was saying somebody's volunteered to give a membership from the next month. And I could see the lady was so happy. I could see tears in her eyes. Just by saying that, I felt so happy myself. And it took to me a level which I cannot explain to you. So the second story I'm going to talk about to you today has happened during the Second World War. I'm going to leave you guys to guess who this protagonist is. He was a member of Nazi Party. He had a close relationship with the military intelligence of the Nazi Party. He moved to Krakow in Poland in 1938, and he owned an enamel factory of people, 1,750 workers working for him. Out of that 1,750, 1,000 people were Jews. And when Germans invaded Poland in 1939 and taken all the Jews into custody and taken to concentration camps and were killed, this particular gentleman felt really bad, and he took a deal with the military so that he can pay for each worker so that their lives will be saved. So he decided to make a list of 1,200 Jews workers, and he saved each and every one of them. By end of it, he exhausted all his money. He didn't have any penny to live. And he actually there was a movie made of this gentleman, and in that movie there was two striking scenes in that. One of them was when he finished with all his money, he sat there and crying. And when somebody comes and asking him, why are you crying? And he says, wish I had more money so I could save more people. He was the epitome of selfless service. I'm sure you might have already guessed this guy. He is none other than Oskar Schindler. The movie was Schindler's List, and in the end of the movie they were showing another very striking scene where out of the 1,200 people he is saved, around about 10,000 descendants of them coming and gathering in the graveyard of Mr. Schindler in Jerusalem. I was thinking, when I made one person happy, I was in a level of happiness which I can't explain to you. So I was imagining the happiness Mr. Schindler would have gone through. So I decided to read and learn more about this. So come to know, there was one significant study and one famous book which was published in 2002 about long-term happiness. So the first study was done in Harvard University. This is one of the most long-lasting studies ever created. It spanned around 75 years, and almost 750 people were taken into the study, and two groups of people were selected. One group of people were the cream of people who were Harvard University graduates. One of them went on to become the President of America. And the other one, the group was the low socio-economic group of people coming from Bolton area of America. Their whole life, from the teenagers to their retired life, were taken into consideration. Their medical records was checked. Their brain scans were done, ECGs were done. They were interviewed in their living rooms with their partners, with themselves, with their children, and their happiness level, they're successful in their life, everything was taken into consideration. And finally they come to a conclusion that only one thing made most of them happy. That was close relationships with their family and relatives and the society. So it's not only just the number of relationships, but the quality of the relationships and also the stability of that relationship matters. So whoever are lonely lived less. They had more medical problems. They were very unhappy. They were less successful. Whereas these people on this group who had good relations, stable quality relationships, had more longer life, more healthier life, and more happier life. Second one is about a book written by Martin Seligman in 2002. Martin Seligman is actually a world-renowned psychologist from America. He is considered as the father of positive psychology. In his 45 years of experience and his research and the studies, he wrote this, according to that studies, he come out with this particular book. He says there are 3 different dimensions of happiness which we can cultivate in ourselves actually. So the first one he said is called the pleasant life. The pleasant life we all can enjoy doing it by just doing certain activities which will make you happy, like an exercise, yoga, meditation, playing with your kids, laughing with your friends, etc., etc. But that is only short-lived. The second dimension of happiness, or second dimension of your life, is called a good life. For this particular one, you have to work a little bit harder. Like example is actually if you have a talent, and then you actually work on it, and then you come out with a product, and everybody appreciates it. So that kind of an happiness is a different level of happiness. An example is actually a film director comes out with a beautiful movie, and he gets lots of accolades financially and in awards as well. So he gets into a state where he's so happy, which is slightly more permanent than the first one. But the final one is called a meaningful life. Meaningful life can only be achieved, according to this study, can only be achieved by selfless service, which you do something to someone without expecting anything back. And that level of happiness is more long-lasting one. So imagine people like Gandhiji, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa. They've dedicated their lives for the service of other people. Imagine how much of happiness these people have gone through their lives by helping so many people. And I would like to spare a thought for the doctors and the co-workers who is fighting against this deadly virus tirelessly and selflessly. A big salute to all of them. So in summary, you have only two things that can make you permanently happy. One is a good relationship, a good, stable and a quality relationship with your friends, with your family and with your society. And the second one is doing a selfless service to the society without expecting anything back is something that will take you to the next level of happiness, which is more permanent. I would like to conclude this one with another quote from Dalai Lama. He says, happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from the actions within you. Thank you very much.